Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Today's topic is identity is the new parameter. How to stop credential-based breach in 2025. I'm Kenneth Low, CISSP Technical Director of version 2 Singapore PDA Limited. So before we start, some housekeeping. This is a webinar, so you cannot turn on mic. If you got any question or issues, you can simply type in the chat on the questions. If you would like to turn on the mic, please raise your hand or type in the chat. I will turn your mic, then we can discuss, especially on the Q&A sections. Otherwise, let's get started. So today's agenda: why identity is now the front line of security. Well, we can discuss later, yeah, but it's pretty important. So we can have some case study about last year Microsoft breach on June. So of course it's about the identity and issues. Well, it actually happens on and off all the time when the M365 is become commonly used. So the key challenges in the managing user access and how JumpCloud helps to prevent credential-based breach. Then we have some demo and practice. Last but not least, we have a Q&A section. Okay, so let's talk about the parameter. So, well, this is a quite old way, say, comparing yesterday and today. Well, even, yeah, it depends. Not exactly yesterday, but how old days, yeah. Actually, some of the company, even SMB or some enterprise, they still using a very traditional firewall network device and perimeter concept. Even though now they use a lot of SaaS, but they simply assume it is an internal network, so-called internal network after connecting to VPN. Well, that's all the problems begin. Nowadays, we have lots of SaaS application, we have a cloud integration. So there's not a clear, sharp parameter for the so-called on-prem or the internal network or whatever. Well, anyone should treat every device, even a server, can be count an external network. There's no internal network. There's a network only. And 80% of the breach involve token credential being breached or stolen. Well, it is a broad definition, not just a username password. It can be a certificate. It can be a token in your cookie. Because as you know, some of the platform, after you sign in with MFA, there will be a cookie or a cert or whatever put on the computer. So make it more user-friendly, need not to dig into the old OTP one-time password every time login. Yeah, so that the chatbot that trust my computer, trust this computer, how it works is actually a copy, but that can be stolen also. So it involves data breaches. It's one of the very common way to bypass the MFA. So let's get deeper about the credential problems. In Microsoft 2024 June, there is a real-world breach email hack. So Russian hackers stolen lots of Microsoft credential in unauthorized access to many US government's emails. Well, that lesson learned is if we can let the hackers freely movement, not just within our network, so-called lateral movement or whatever, if we got a high privilege or even normal privilege credential being compromised, hackers can move around not just your network, but sometimes a service on the cloud, because people, there's two way. People love to use same username password, and on the other hand, if you have largely single sign in place, that can be also abused and make use of moving around from between different applications and SaaS to gather more credential, still valuable data and assets. So that's the problem. So after this instance, so we should be think about what is the perimeter again. Yeah, because nowadays we support remote work, hybrid working environment. Some employee may never report to the office from the day zero, and then last day device may be deployed with zero touch, just sending them the device and with MDM, all the application in place, credentials there. Well, and we make use lots of SaaS application and cloud apps everywhere. So the credential or cloud identity become a new perimeter that extend your so-called on-prem or internal network, because there's so many service rely on those cloud directory, and it happens on the cloud and everywhere. So a weak password, a stolen credential, or some testing account without a MFA turning on, or even turning on the cookie being stolen by some way, that can be a weakest link and become the target of attackers. Well, because there's some account not turning on MFA, maybe because it's just testing account, temp account, whatever, easily being forget to turn it off if you run a testing or create temp one for your contractor. That can be a very easy to compromise credential that can be made use by the attackers. So identity and credential monitoring is crucial. Well, there are many common identity challenges or password challenges. First of all, password reuse and phishing. Well, if you ever run some phishing simulation, definitely you may have got quite a high successful way, as long as your template being good enough, like next year, next quarter, or next year salary increment policy or plan, whatever, vote for the Christmas party, food or whatever, restaurant. Yeah, people love to carry on that. And having a very high hit rate, then you ask them to sign in before you can vote or whatever, claim your increment of salary. Well, that phishing user success and credential being stolen. Well, after, and second is the limit MFA adoptions. Some organizations only enforce MFA to high privilege account, but once we got a account on your cloud directory, it can become much more easy to evaluate your privilege, or further that gain, then you can get a credential that can do everything. So MFA shouldn't be applied to small group of users, should apply to every accounts. And there's some bad identity system, and we don't have a central access policy. Well, even we have integration, single sign-on, IDP, but each application may have their own policies. Some may come with MFA, some may didn't. Maybe you still integrate with some legacy protocol like LDAP, whatever. Implementing MFA in some platform is difficult. Well, of course, there's some solutions, but there's a fact. There's currently some weak point that hackers may use of those to attack and penetrate or stolen your credential and do whatever they want upcoming, stealing data, lateral movement, whatever. So, of course, there is some cure. JumpCloud is a centralized cloud-based IDP solutions. So it helps you secure your identity. First of all, we support MFA and passwordless authentications, which enhance the security. On the other hand, make it more easy to use for many users. And we support conditional access policy that integrate with device, location, and role. That means we can control and ban some credential on certain device or applications that reduce loss a large extent of the natural movement or abuse of account. Yeah, because in many organizations, just a normal user, they may be able to access many applications, even though they are not admin access. That create problems. Yeah, and there's not a least privilege policy, which is quite important in the concept of zero trust architecture. And also JumpCloud provides centralized IAM. So every application, device, or networks, you can connect to JumpCloud to have a centralized access and control with standardized password policy, MFA, and any others monitoring alerts. Because we actively monitor those user access, no matter which is they're using, their log into their Windows, access into the email, log into the network device, Wi-Fi, VPN, share folder, whatever. As long as you integrate with JumpCloud, we can help you to monitor and let you know is there a abnormal, suspicious behavior for each of those credential and users. So that's more predictive alerts or early warning if there is any either internal attack or some credential is being account takeover already. So that helps to you to react far before something really bad happens. So let's take a quick look on the demonstration how JumpCloud works. Let me pause the share, give me a second. Need some time to log in the console. Give me 1 more second. We need an MFA, of course. Okay, let me enlarge a little bit. Okay, that's better. So this is a JumpCloud portal. This is MSP. Let me go to one of the organization first. So this is a admin portal for the JumpCloud. So you, of course, first of all, you can go through the Get Start guide, getting started, go through the step by step. Well, today we simply quickly go for a key features and how JumpCloud works. Well, first of all, you should have a user, right? Well, there's a few different type of user. First of all, you can have a user create on the JumpCloud platform portal, or you can sync with account credentials that are managed by your Active Directory or other cloud directory. Here you can integrate with Active Directory, cloud directories, or even HR system, and we have support quite many, and also others identity provider. Then we can synchronize like your workspace, Azure AD, Author, whatever. So you can integrate or replace your Active Directory or other IDP. Yeah, so it's up to you. You can integrate or replace. Yeah, or working parallel. It depends. Well, there's a few reasons. I will explain a little bit later. We'll talk about devices. So every users here, you can see, let me pick my own self. So this is a alias account for me, which is a highlights. So which device I bound into, which groups I belong to, then which user group I belong to, and I have what kind of a device, and it is integrated with which directory. So I integrate it to the LDAP. So the LDAP will also show my credential, and I will log in. I can able to log in through LDAP, which is provided by JumpCloud, which is a cloud-based LDAP, which is the same with any other LDAP. It's just a standard protocol. So I can bind my account to this device. Then I can log in this Windows device with JumpCloud credential. Let me try to make it off. Okay, maybe log off first. Okay. So let me log in. Then let me see, which is this one. So I can. This is a account with JumpCloud. It will create a new user profile in you if you didn't bound to a local account. In case it is an existing device having a local profile, you definitely can bound your JumpCloud account to your local profile. So it will take over the login and password, but all the user interface, shortcut, and the wallpaper, sometimes very important to someone, still there. Yeah, so you can make use of JumpCloud to log in your Windows. As long as you install agent, you can see there's an agent there. Yeah, and you bound your account to this device, then you can log into relative device. So the credential can be synced with AD or standalone account from JumpCloud. Let's go back. Then, of course, I can enable TFTP. I can enable web authentication, which I can change the password policy, how complex it is, how much, when we should reset the password, or you can define in JumpCloud. Let's talk about LDAP. So we support legacy application through LDAP and Radius. So it is very simple. Both of them, you can create a server, which is a LDAP DN with this string, which is jumpcloud.com, and this is your organization ID. and then you can give them their bank account. Yeah, then it will work. And of course, you have to choose which user group can log in this LDAP. Okay, so you can create multiple one, and we support MFA. So you can make the password and combine with the MFA OTP when logging into LDAP to secure further for those legacy application with MFA capability. Or it also applies similar to the Radius. So you can integrate with this Radius device that you can make use of that. Next is one very important, much more important, that we can support SaaS application with integrate with those common SaaS application. You can search, there's a bunch of application that support SAML, then we can integrate with JumpCloud. So you can make use of JumpCloud credential to log in those application in the cloud. Okay. Well, let's next is about device. So I mentioned that there's some reason for people will integrate or extend or replace Active Directory with JumpCloud. First of all, we are not just supporting Windows. We support Mac, Windows, Linux, iOS, Android, and other devices. Of course, for Android and iOS, you have to integrate your enterprise account, make the MDM enrollment, and then you can control and manage those endpoints. And Linux, Windows, and Mac, you can use it to log in your devices and manage the device policy. This is far different from just an AD, because you can make it log in with AD credential. You cannot control anything on the Mac. As long as we have an MDM enrollment, we can apply different policy to your devices. Let's see. Yeah, so this is a few MDM policy, right? So for Mac OS and Mac OS and Windows, you can add whatever list of policy that apply to your device, like AirPrint. You can limit AirPrint destinations. You can block those installation of certain OS. Yeah, that's important for many cases because upgrading a Mac OS seems very attractive to a user. Some users love to upgrade most update OS immediately, but they sometimes forget that some application may not support the most update Mac OS yet. Testing or some verifications should be applied before upgrade, so we can deploy policy to block some updates before we confirm all the necessary enterprise application we are using on those Mac is available to support your new OS. Then you can release the block. Then you can upgrade remotely, of course. For Windows, you can avoid them shutdown, control camera, USB, portable device, Bluetooth, whatever you imagine. Most of the control we can apply by device group, by user group, whatever, device from device, and apply for different systems. You can see we have a different policy, and we have some recommend list, so you can click and apply to those devices. Yeah, already close it. Anyway, okay, so this is a policy. So in many cases, consumer find that I cannot control the Mac, and they have more and more mobile user. It become not that effective to use Active Directory only. Well, moving to Azure doesn't help much or too costly for them. They may think about Active Directory moving to JumpCloud. Of course, some customer already using Google Drive, Azure, Astra ID. They want more control and management through the centralized SaaS and management or any device and platform. They can integrate with JumpCloud. So that's how JumpCloud works. So we can integrate your different directory, install the agent, and synchronize the credential and access and password, enable MFA, and then control the access to different devices with our policy. Furthermore, we have some security management features. So we can do some device trust for mobile device and Chrome device. And we also can do conditional access policy. Well, some SaaS applications support conditional access policy. We can limit some SaaS application only can be accessed from devices which managed by JumpCloud. So we can limit who, when, where, and access your SaaS application and from which device. Okay, with MFA enforcement, with password policy, yeah, and of course you can set many others conditional policy there. Yeah, and we can do just-in-time access for most of the SaaS application which support just-in-time. So we can help you to provision the account whenever there is a user allowed to access the SaaS application when they first log in. So we save lots of costs because maybe all staff entitled to use a enterprise box.com, but maybe only half the user actually use it. Then we need not to provision in advance. We can provision when the user first really accessing. Well, last but not least, we provide directory insight, which is very important because, as I said, we can monitor the user behavior when they create a password, when they change your password, when they access, and you can see what's happening for each user by a timestamp, and we will help you to find out is there any suspicious activities. Then we will let you know is there something bad happens. And we have a lot of report. It definitely helps you to monitor, you operate and audit. Yeah, of course, like we have the user to device report. So you will know which user capable to log into which device. Yeah, with AD, if you don't set up specifically, you may let them to log into any device, which is not desirable. Of course, there's not a common practice, but yeah, but we have a strict control and we can generate reply and which user belongs to which directory, belongs to which LDAP server, which radius, and which SaaS application mapping. So it's help you to generate some audit report very easily and some monitoring the user health and the software inventory and basic information of your devices. Okay, so and of course there's some alerts. If we find something bad, we will let you know. Yeah, you can find it here and then we send it by email. So the JumpCloud is an integrated platform to handle all your assets. Enable MFA, enable more control, more monitoring in the central places that can help you to find out is there any abnormal suspicious behavior to all your credentials in all area that we will use those credentials. So this is the quick demo about JumpCloud, how it works. Let's go back to our presentation. So we finished Jump demo. So what's the benefits of using JumpCloud to your organization? First, it reduces the risk of central-based breaches because we do active monitoring and enforce better control. And we simplify your compliance and audit because we have extended reports and you centralize the management. So you need not to go to many different platforms to compile a report that telling which user is accessing which application with which kind of privilege. We have all in one. And we improve the user experience with a single sign-on and passwordless. So the users just remember a single very strong password, even they don't need to remember password. With our passwordless facility, they just go through those biometric and others MFA mechanism, then they can log in without a password in a secure way, which is very important also. And we lower the IT overhead because we have central credential management. We support self-serve password reset mechanism or change password. And we do better provisioning to different SaaS application because we have integration. We support just-in-time provision, and we can integrate with HR system. You can do low-touch deployment from end to end. Once you create credential, then you can send the device to someone without touching it, log in, deploy agent that will be managed and controlled by JumpCloud. So there's a few key takeaways. First, identities are the new front line of security because you push into the front line, because we push them to the SaaS application. All SaaS application put them to the front line, but you choose to use it, right? So, and credential-based attack are biggest risk in this year, and I will say it's next year also, because it's relatively much more easy to get, because this is open the door to anyone in many SaaS application platform. So everyone get a chance to get into it and try to get it. So it's just quite risky and because issue for many organizations. So JumpCloud deliver IAM that prevent breaches because we centralize manage them, provide early warning and detection. We provide strong passwordless protection for your credential, and we provide easy to use mechanism. So user willing to use it rather than some workaround by the user that will much lower the security for those control or MFA or others. So let's protect your identity now. You can secure by using JumpCloud. You can get a trial online, or you can contact us. We can arrange a POC or testing for you. Or if you want to talk, you can contact me, book me a 15 minutes free consultant. We can talk in any aspect of security, including your identity, cloud directory, SIM, endpoint, network, backup, whatever you want. Yeah, because we have many solutions. So in case you got any questions, please do type to the question or chat box. Otherwise, you can fill into a feedback form that will email after the webinar, or you can send. You can just book me a section and talk to me. Yeah. So that's all for today. Thank you very much to everyone, and goodbye.